she was chosen by.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have the resolution 14004 itemizing financials, and Heidi will update us. Oh, we have it.
We have revenue certifications for the Board of DD's operating residential services donation and capital funds. For the blanket purchase order for Board of DD's construction fund, travel request for the Office of Community and Economic Development and the Commissioner's Office. Payment to Shep Electric for the purchase of a generator for the youth center in the amount of $14,400. Payment to Auburn Bainbridge Excavating for the demolition and removal of the Center Street garage for the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $12,000. Payments to Cleveland Letter for the good deeds mailing for the juvenile probate court totaling $20,670.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Motion stands approved. All right, next item, county engineer. We got Frank.
How are you? Morning,
Frank.
Okay, so we're here for the resolution to authorize our county forces to essentially do their jobs, routine maintenance, patch potholes, plow snow, our highway department, sort of do regular maintenance activity by our own force.
Would you like to read that?
County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 14-005, authorizing the county engineer to undertake projects using force accounts in certain cases for year 2014.
So moved. Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
And Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye. Motion stands
Thank you.
approved.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. Have a nice day.
Hope I'm this way.
Yeah.
All these cameras and stuff.
I gotta like shade. Look pretty.
Look in your camera there and say, hi folks, I'm the vlog dude. With the cameras here, you should probably bring
I was just
bring a
gonna
puppy
say
with
this.
you
Now maybe-
and pull one of those.
From now on, there will be a dog for adoption.
Yeah, Dick Goddard adopt a dog and have it here on the chair.
From now on.
That's a good idea.
But you're responsible for cleanup.
That's a great idea.
No.
Okay, what you got?
Okay. Oh, do you say it or do we just go?
You just talked about it.
Okay, we're looking, we used to have a part-time position as a shelter attendant that we had back in 2012. Up until 2012, that person left us, and we never filled the position last year, and we just never did because of the financial issues. Since you guys requested that we opened on Sunday, the last 3 Sundays, I thought there was 8 adoptions, but there were actually 6 adoptions. So we're averaging 2 adoptions a Sunday. So it sounds like, especially with more people learning that we're open on Sundays, it looks like it's gonna be definitely a benefit and we're gonna have to stay open. With only myself and 2 deputies in a 24-hour operation, we need to get that part-time person back in to help us. They are a shelter attendant, so they would be doing mostly weekends, sometimes helping us out with vacations and all that coming up, and they would help with the adoptions in the public. So it's something that definitely is needed so we can help out and continue to move into getting more hours in, to get more public in and helping
Hey,
us
to a
out.
Sunday, we'll clear out the dog.
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah, that's
you know, I'll tell you, I was hesitant when my volunteers and staff said it, but you know, like I said, 3 Sundays and we've had an average of 2 adoptions a Sunday is actually very beneficial.
Is there a way easily that you can track the traffic on your Sundays with the weather? In other words, it's winter time now, so maybe they're coming over because they don't do picnics or other things on Sunday, and as we go into the nicer weather, if that has any effect on the weekend hours.
And exactly, and we're gonna monitor it, because we
Yeah, that's-
used to have the Wednesday night hours, and because of the weather, we obviously
Right.
changed that, and it's the same thing on Sundays. Is the nicer weather gonna affect us on people coming in because they're doing family obligations in the summertime? So
Right, that's down the road, you may have winter hours on Sunday, and it may be that you'll find that the summer hours on Sunday are not as well attended, or maybe they're better attended, which would be nice.
And that's something that, you know, with the whole strategic plan of trying to do it, I think that's what you'll see in the next few months of me coming down with adoptable dogs. Is
I don't know if that
is-
will work.
Is working, is actually, because the Wednesday nights, people loved Wednesday nights in the summer.
Mhm.
But Wednesday nights, you know, in this weather, you know, no one's coming at 5 o'clock, because
Yeah,
the
it's dark.
lights are off, it's dark, you know, it's cold. So it's a scenario that I definitely think that we would have a nighttime again come summer, just because it's light until 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And we do have people that come in after work that want to see animals and play with them and all that. So I think that, you know, we got to start moving into a business-oriented shelter and figuring out what's the best for the
Yeah,
public.
track the trends. Are you reading it, or?
Okay, we've got, okay,
Yeah,
go
we're good, I
ahead.
think.
Dog Warden's Office is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of part-time shelter attendant, number 1607, for the weekends with additional hours as scheduled, not to exceed 30 hours per week. This position will remain posted until filled.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier? Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye. Motion stands approved.
Thank you, everyone.
Nice day.
Water Resources, do we have?
It's warm, the dogs are better.
Director Bowen?
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, the first two items are for changing the job description for the design engineer and then advertising for the position. Changes to it, originally the position was for basically hiring a design engineer with no experience. And we bumped that up to having at least a PE, so that you have to have at least 4 years experience. And then we put some
Or
supervisory
professional
skills.
engineering
Yeah,
license.
yeah. Part of that is we went from 7 people down to 3 people, and we've stayed that way for the last 7 years.
That's right.
And, you know,
Never filled those positions.
that's correct. So, and now we got the Thompson project probably happening, the Russell project, and all these other ones happening. And we would be 18 more months to go here. We need to start bumping it up, because just be Jerry alone with Sam at this time. So sometimes we do get swamped, and with this Thompson thing happen, both Jerry and Sam will be out 24/7, you know. So that's how we modify them.
And for succession plan.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we modified the job description, and then we're asking to advertise.
All right. Would you read, I guess you could read the first 4 and 5, right?
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve changes to the job description for full-time design engineer, number 2305. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of full-time design engineer, number 2305. This position will remain posted until filled.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye, motion stands approved.
All right, and
Next
then
item.
the next 15 items or so, I'm not sure how many there are.
This is your time.
It's that time again. This is for our, we get some standard service contracts, Blake, since you wouldn't know. Every year, we probably get maybe 25 to 30 of these. And what we do is we get service contracts with different vendors that we know we usually spend money with every year, with different plumbers or electricians or landscapers or whatever. So we have the money set aside in case of an emergency, like a store break in the middle of the night. We have somebody to call, the money's already in place. Most of the times, we close these accounts out with only using maybe 25% or 50% of it. Sometimes we use it all and go increase, but sometimes we don't even use it at all. But it's just to have the money available ahead of time.
Okay, yeah, it's an if-come basis. If something happens, you got it,
We have the money ready. We don't have to go a month or 2 months to get through the whole process of getting service contracts before we can have them come in. Okay, so I don't know if you want me to go through each one individually, or,
Yeah, you could, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Say which
General.
one is.
okay. Well, the number 8 there, I think it's in order.
Well, it starts with,
Number 7, okay, you changed the agenda, okay.
well, you got
Yeah,
one here
number
with
7.
fence. You got here one with fence, it's number 6.
Okay, I got the first one I have here, is, the Auburn fence, yes. So that, in case we have any kind of work that we need done at our 25 treatment plants, or actually number 7 would be for fencing, and number 8 would be for any kind of electrical work that one of our electrician guys could not handle. The next one would be for Ohio Pump. Do you have 200 roll for that one? No, Ohio Pump, and that would be for, we have another 25 treatment pump stations and treatment plants that pumps and blowers in it. If we ever need an emergency repair done, they're available. The next 2, one is for water, one is for wastewater, and that is for any kind of landscape or tree removal we would need at any of our treatment plants. If there's a storm or something, if a tree falls on one of the buildings or something, if we can't get to it, or anything, whatever kind of work that be used.
That's Yarnell.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And that these for 1,500. Ayers well and drilling, we have that for 15,000. We do have our wells at our county services center, which supply all the county offices and that by the hospital there. And in case we ever have an issue or problem there, and then we also have Scranton with water, which is over there by Manja in that area. If we ever have a problem with those wells, we would call them for that. Let's see here. The next ones would be Bergren would be for any kind of our telemetry, any kind of stuff that we have with our controls or metering problems there at all of our plants. The next, Frank Septic, in case we have any sludge hauling that we can't do ourselves, or if we run out of people, or we have an emergency.
You have 2 with Bergren on here, or are they?
Let's see here. Yes, one would, if you look at the very last line, that one's for water, one's for wastewater.
Okay.
So we have 2 different service accounts, and we try to keep the system separate. So if we need something in water, then we make sure we do it one water, one wastewater.
Okay. Then we're at Frank.
Yeah, then we do the septic, which would only be for sewer. Nor Ohio Plumbing, in case we do have, again, any kind of plumbing issues or anything that our guys can't handle. Most of the time, we just have these on standby, because our guys are pretty good, and they can handle them. And then Lake County Sewer is for emergency sewer backup. Sometimes if the lines are larger, or they're in the easements, like our McFarland, where we have trunk lines that go through the middle of fields, our guys can't go through the fields there, or if the lines are larger than, we usually just try to handle the 8-inch or whatever. So if these are the 16-inch or larger, then we have Lake County Sewer come in. Yeah, there's a lot of signing there. We got one for another tree service. There should be a second one there, yeah. And Friederbau well drilling. Again, that would be mostly just for our county services center right at the hospital there. And any kind of problems with any of our generators, we have for water and wastewater. We have McDonald equipment for 1,000 for the water and 2,500 for the wastewater.
All right.
And I do have a spreadsheet here that can just down here that show over the last 5 years how we spent the money or how we closed all the accounts for all of these. So I can always forward that to you.
Okay, would you like to read, try to include all of those? Good luck.
Kind of like War and Peace.
Yeah, War and Peace, yeah.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Auburn Fence Corporation to perform fence repairs, replacement, and installations as needed at various county buildings owned by the Department of Water Resources for year 2014 in the amount of $5,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Emory Electric Incorporated to perform electrical repairs as needed at various locations within the county for year 2014 in the amount of $10,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Ohio Pump to perform pump repair services at various wastewater treatment plants and lift stations owned and operated by the Department of Water Resources year 2014 in the amount of $10,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Yarnell Tree Company to perform tree removal services as needed at various water treatment plants within the Department of Water Resources for the year 2014 in the amount of $1,500. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Yarnell Tree Company to perform tree removal services as needed at various wastewater locations, including after storm damage for year 2014 in the amount of $1,500. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Ayers Well Drilling to perform well and well pump services as needed at various water facilities within the Department of Water Resources for year 2014 in the amount of $15,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Bergman Associates Incorporated to perform all maintenance, service, and installation of altimetry and control systems, including meter calibration at various water facilities in the county for year 2014 in the amount of $10,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Bergman Associates Incorporated to perform all maintenance, service, and installation of altimetry and control systems, including meter calibration at various wastewater treatment facilities in the county for the year 2014 in the amount of $10,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract with Tim Frank Septic Tank Cleaning Company to perform emergency sludge hauling and vector services for year 2014 in the amount of $5,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Nor Ohio Plumbing Incorporated to perform emergency plumbing repairs when needed at various locations within the Department of Water Resources for year 2014 in the amount of $10,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Lake County Sewer Company Incorporated to perform general and emergency cleaning, televising, grouting, and rehabilitation of sewer lines and manholes within the county for year 2014 in the amount of $20,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Valor Tree Service to perform tree removal services at various locations, including all storm damage for year 2014 in the amount of $1,500. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Friedebau Well Drilling Incorporated to perform well and well pump services as needed at various water facilities within the Department of Water Resources for year 2014 in the amount of $5,000. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with McDonald Equipment Company to perform generator services and repairs as needed at various county water facilities for year 2014 in the amount of $1,000. And the last one. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with McDonald Equipment Company to perform generator services and repairs as needed at various county wastewater treatment plants for year 2014 in the amount of $2,500.
So move. Second.
Commissioner Rea.
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
And Commissioner Speed.
Aye. Motions all stand approved.
It feels like an autograph session.
When are we gonna have that executive session as far as contract?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday. You got I sent you the attachment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next item is Commissioner's Office requests the board appoint the County Engineer Geauga as alternate for Commissioner Blake A. Rear. And I'd also amend it to include Mary Smitty, if I ever need an alternate, which I usually am there, to the Northeast Ohio Area-wide Coordinating Agency Board of Directors.
So moved.
Is this till the other action takes place?
Yeah, I was gonna say, see, on Monday reorg, one of the things we'd have on there is that you each, we would designate you, because by the current laws, you're each board members, and then you would designate your alternate. I assume yours would be Skip, and place would be Joe. And Mary, if you want to name somebody,
Yeah.
in the unlikely event you wouldn't go.
Yeah,
So think about who you
Yeah.
want to name and we'll put that in there.
right.
My understanding is that there's a meeting tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I won't be there, I'll be in
You need
Columbus.
somebody to be there.
So this covers, or authorizes Joe for tomorrow. Going forward, I'm not, I don't know, but if we don't have an action, then Joe can't go down there with any,
He needs to be an alternate.
yeah, any authority.
Yeah, so I mean,
to do
I put in
anything for
there, I
tomorrow.
assume you might want him as alternate until the other action gets ratified by the lockout, but you. let
Oh,
me
for
know.
for me,
For Monday,
yeah.
Yeah, for Monday.
Yeah, until whatever happens.
'Cause that's how
Joe
it
is
reads.
mine,
Yeah.
but the
Right.
main reason for doing it today is because of tomorrow.
So move.
For a second. I move, he seconds.
Okay. Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
And Commissioner Sweet?
Motion stands approved. I'll read the next one.
Are there that many things that we voted on here? Because I think I'm just signing them.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 14-006, supporting the Cleveland Museum of Natural History's Clean Ohio Grant application for the Colliker Fen Protection Project in Munson Township.
And note that, you know, I amended what was sent to us as a sample that would protect for fee simple purchase up to 25 acres rather than the 78 that came from.
Yeah,
And I
it says-
emailed you the maps so you could see the portions that we talked about on Tuesday.
You want me to read this, just so it's clear? The Kelliker Fen protection would result in fee simple purchase of up to 25 acres in Munson Township. Approximately 4.6 acres of land described as portion PPN number 22024410. Approximately 16-acre tract land was described as portion PPN number 22012400 and a portion PPN 22012390. And also there's another 4-acre tract of land which is described as portion PPN 22062000. So, there's other.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
No.
And Commissioner Sweet?
Aye. Motion stands approved. All right. Next item, we're, because of, I think it's Martin Luther King Day. Just
Right
put
now.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, just put no on yours. We won't be here on Tuesday, and when that happens, then the next meeting, which is the 23rd, I think no one's gonna be, you guys aren't gonna be here, is that it?
Right.
Yeah, I'm out of town since before I got this job.
So.
So that's why we said lack of a quorum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Because Martin Luther King Day is on the Monday, then.
Tuesday, that's why we
session
don't
on
have
the-
Tuesday,
on
but the reason we're not
Thursday.
That's what we
Thursday.
normally say, but, you know, if we, it's lack of a quorum.
Yeah,
And
so that's
just-
why 21st isn't, but this one is a different.
Well, this is Thursday, so,
Mhm.
got it.
23rd.
Yeah. It's just Thursday.
One of the things I'd like to bring up before Monday's meeting, if I can, I want to put something as far as, I'm going to be starting as, unless I get, voted in as otherwise, as chairman for next, for the next term, I'd like to try to get, there's just a few minor changes that I'd like to make as far as the meetings, to propose for meetings. And I've got a couple extra sheets if somebody wanted to take that. I'd like to request, and this has come under discussions with both Dave Ware, our financial person, Heidi Delaney, and then just the fact of contacting a lot of the other counties in this state of efficiency issues, manpower issues, just stuff that really kind of makes sense. And the biggest thing also is to be able to be accountable to the public. Approval for the changes that we have our meetings on Tuesdays as we've always had them at 10 a.m. in the morning. The second Thursday of each month, we would have a 6:30 p.m. meeting. to discuss issues that deserve public input or support. Our meeting, I would like to see us travel, to other villages and townships, and I know Mr. Rear had brought that in, actually the day that he was sworn in. He's in favor of that also, to be able to reach out to a lot of the different townships, villages within the county, just to be able to be a part of them. But other than that, so the first, second, third, and fourth to keep the meetings on Tuesdays. The second, third Thursday of each month to do a 6:30 p.m. meeting and eliminate the other Thursday meetings. It's a situation where I look at it as efficiency. I've talked to many different departments. What they can gather of information, there's a lot of redundancy. There's a lot of stuff that they come in on a Tuesday because they don't have all the stuff together, then they come back on a Thursday. I think it just holds our department heads more accountable. I think that it eliminates the whole parade of putting together one of these meetings, as far as an agenda, as far as minutes, as far as all the stuff that goes into this, to be able to bring this. So what I've put on here is efficient use and management of department directors to run their department, rather than spending time at a commissioner's office twice a week. They're preparing to come over here, they're trying to drive over here. A lot of them aren't gonna be, right next door, especially even the engineer's office. They're here all the time. And it's like, I talked to Joe, it's, once he makes that move and stuff, it's the drive time here, the drive time back.
Well, Matt's a good example, because he's got a very tiny department, he's way down by the hospital.
Right.
So Ralph, I just want to ask you, do you mean we'd have the meeting every Tuesday?
Yep, every Tuesday.
There would be no other Thursday meeting?
The only other Thursday meeting
Would
would
be an
be the
evening
second
then?
Thursday of each
I
month at
interpret this, it
6:30
says
p.m.
the first and third, second and fourth, so if you had 5 Tuesdays in a month, that would be
And
a bye
we
week?
could even, if we wanted to, we could just make it that every
Every
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
we have a meeting.
Okay, so every
And then the
Tuesday and
second-
then the one Thursday?
One
Oh, no problem with that.
Thursday meeting at
What?
6:30, and then we.
Instead of a Thursday,
Yep,
there'll be no Thursday morning meetings.
right.
would that work for?
And what I would ask is that, with that being said, better organization, elimination of the duplication. I mean, Dave, you and I have talked about this time and time again, duplication of tasks. Less burden and efficiency time for commissioner staff to go through the following: preparation of agendas, processing meeting minutes, processing financials, follow up on financials, staff pulled away from their daily duties to have meeting twice weekly. It's not like we have this huge staff here at the commissioner's office that we can have fill-ins and stuff, and so it's a situation where we only have the people we have. So if we could utilize them to be able to focus on what they need to do, work towards one meeting, it just makes sense. And then per the request of the public, and this is, having just my ear to the grindstone throughout the whole year, is it's less burdensome for people to be involved and attend all the meetings. I mean, Walter, you're here religiously, Diane and Tom, but for other people, they're not able to sometimes make, and they want to be engaged in our business, but this would basically cut their time to 50% of the time, and they'll still have full ability to be able to be here. The other thing is they feel their voices should be heard, we serve them. I think that what we need to do is, if I'm put in a position of chairman, I want to try to run things with a little more regimentation, a little more order, in the sense of I think that sometimes, I understand we want to be compatible with with everybody, and we want to be compassionate to everybody, but at the same time, I think that there needs to be some kind of a position where I think we need to have it officiated that we have a certain time frame that people have the ability to give their position on issues and be able to speak. And I think that, we as a board need to just have reasonableness to say, to limit it maybe to a certain amount of time per person, or whatever the case may be.
Put a little
where it's just-
structure into
I
it.
mean,
That's
we're-
good.
Preserving access,
So-
put some structure.
I have a couple questions when
Okay.
you're done about this whole
And,
deal. Go ahead.
okay, and then, so we would add a section of time in every meeting that the public can ask questions or make a statement. Because right now, under the Ohio Revised Code, under the public meetings, technically speaking, you don't have to really have where people don't really have a right to say something in the
Unless
meeting.
you allow it.
Unless we allow it. And I think that going forward, we work for the people, let's listen to also what people have to say, and then set a time for discussion and a time limit, because we don't want this to be a situation where all of a
5-hour
sudden,
meetings,
people
yeah.
load up,
Yeah.
like for example, and that's not an issue, we always applaud and support the fact if somebody truly feels strong about an issue, like with that bike path issue, they wanted to do that. With the heroin issue, we had standing room only.
Yeah.
And in
that's
that
good.
situation, on those meetings like that, we can make the adjustments within and put those meetings that would probably bring more public support, we'll put that as an evening meeting so that people can do that. General business, I have no problem with, but when it comes to issues such as Tuesday, when it's, land grab and stuff that deals with issues like that, that I think that people should have a right to speak on issues like that, bike trail, issues of whatever the issue it may be. I think that we need to have those scheduled in an area where we would have more accessibility of the public, and then allow more time possibly for them to be able to participate. Mr. Rear?
Oh, okay, I just have a couple questions. I believe, when you're reading either the CCAO manual or in the Ohio Revised Code, which would obviously take precedent, I think we have to have a minimum of 50 meetings a month.
A year.
A year, excuse me. I misspoke. 50 meetings a month, we're gonna be busy. 50 meetings per year, and if we are having every Tuesday,
Be 60.
60, it would be 60 meetings. Actually, with the organizational
but
meetings,
Tuesdays
it has to be more.
sometimes present a problem with the current policy that if there's a holiday on Monday, then we don't have a meeting on Tuesday, so anytime
We
there's a.
could, we
How
could
about
move it
we
to
move
Well,
Thursday.
that's what I'm saying, we could,
Could move it to
that,
Thursday, yeah.
I'm not saying this isn't doable, I'm just saying these are changes that need to be looked at in this diagram.
Yep.
On the second Thursday of each month for the evening meeting, and I agree that we need to look at going to villages and townships, but we have to be cognizant of the fact that when we vote this in, that we may be going to, in some areas, we may go to a smaller crowd than we have here.
Right.
And so I don't want it to be chiseled in granite that we're gonna do this, so that it isn't, they're modifiable. Any of the larger meetings like you talked about, I think we need to definitely at least talk about that they be in Building 8, because there we control the building and we have the room for a larger number of people.
I think that we would be home-based here, but I
Right.
think that throughout, I wouldn't say that, out of, every meeting, we're gonna have to be somewhere, but I'm saying that I think that we need to at least visit that, and I agree with what you had said even when you had first come in, that you'd like to try to do that, and I think it's a great idea, and I think that it makes sense, and we just need to try to coordinate it, but if we have a sensitive issue of what is at hand here, we need to push that off of our regular meeting and put that as our night meeting so that we can have that discussed here.
A
The only
perfect
other
ex-
problem that that might come up
Mhm.
is if you go on vacation.
Right.
And the fact that you gotta hit the 50. Now, if you go on vacation for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're gonna miss 2 or 3 meetings, and if you go again later in the year, I'm just concerned that we
Yeah,
have
that-
meetings. It might be, I like the idea, I like this a lot. But, I'm just concerned, like, I'm thinking, I took a vacation for 15 days, so I think I missed 3 meetings. We all did,
Right, which-
actually, during that time. None of it, we didn't have any meetings.
Which in this case, you would have probably only missed 2 if it was the first and or like the third and the fourth, you would have only missed 2.
2.
Yeah,
That's the only concern.
I have no problem with this other
Yeah.
than we need to sit down with a calendar.
Yep.
And see if it
And
works
with
for
where the
us.
holidays fall and examine, we may have to restructure for occasions, and we may need to, when we pass this, put a disclaimer or a phrase in there that says, you know, we may have to have a special meeting to meet the ORC
That's-
Yeah,
requirements.
but the other
and-
thing is, some of the townships have meetings on Monday, Wednesday, they have like a different time.
Yeah.
So
Right.
maybe on that Thursday time, it might be better for us to meet on the day that they have their meeting, so so those folks, like, if they have people coming, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that's a
If
work
you go out
in
to
progress.
Parkman, you
Yep.
got
Go,
nobody
Jim.
there.
I think
Yeah.
it's easy to, at least this gives us a foundation
Yeah.
to start
What?
on.
That's-
And we can look for Monday.
Oh, they're busy
take
now?
action on this.
Okay.
Debbie and I will look at
Yeah.
this year and see
Well, I
how
like
many
that.
Tuesdays
That's good.
hit after a holiday.
Right.
So maybe we can even bake those into the schedule.
And I guess, I'm not putting you on the spot, but I mean, I'd like for you to discuss it on your side of it also, with your,
The only thing I think we might,
The
look
financial
at
stuff
is,
is when people.
well, we have to look,
Yes.
you passed the action, I believe, on Tuesday, giving me the ability to execute when there's a lack of a quorum.
Quorum.
But that wouldn't cover this because you wouldn't have
No.
scheduled meetings, so we may need to modify that to give me the ability,
For
if you
the-
need a financial on Thursday, that I
Yep.
can do the financial.
I don't know how they do it, but I mean, again, hate to, in my previous job, going back to the school board, they have a meeting generally once a month. And we approve the warrant list, which is the financials, once a month. Now, I don't know how they do it, and we write, I mean, the school writes as many checks as the county does in a month's period of time.
But it's all one department. I think that's part of what throws it off here, is we got all these elected
Well,
officials.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
totally
that's true, but
controlled
a lot of
by
vendors, a lot
I know,
of different vendors.
but the
so-
process is controlled by one office. Here
Well,
you
I mean,
got
you're gonna have to
everybody.
see if it'll work.
Yeah,
Give it a
I'm not
shot,
saying we
you
do
know.
that,
Yeah.
but the one thing that
Give
I
it a
want to add
shot.
is on their last two sentences, I put question marks, because I have a lot of experience in that area. And what we need to do in both those cases is we need to develop a policy that we adopt. And then when you put the agendas in the box, staple two, in fact, I think I even brought them, and I may have a couple of examples in my desk back there. A public participation policy that states that when recognized by the chairman of the Board of Commissioners here, or whatever, that you get to stand up, identify yourself, where you're from, you get to talk on an issue. You know, and it says you can't talk more than once until everybody that wants to talk speaks the first time, so you don't have a long argument. It limits the time to 3 minutes
Yeah.
up there on a topic, but then that's at the chairman's
Excuse me?
discretion.
Robert's rules.
Robert's rules.
Robert's rules of order.
Right, exactly. Well, we don't use Robert's rules
Yeah.
as such here, and that's what I say, you have to have that, and then make it available with the agenda at every meeting, so that when the person gets the agenda, if he wants to speak, he turns it back, and it's in black and white, what we expect of them, and I think we can vote Monday at our organizational meeting to, in concept, do all these things, with the caveat being that some of these, the details need to be,
and I can work with Dave.
Yeah, well,
between
there's
now and Monday.
flexibility.
yeah, I won't be here, but yeah, I'll give you those
Yeah.
copies if I did bring them in,
Yeah.
that were,
Should we put this on, as suggested, like a 6-month trial and see how it works out?
Well, you can modify it.
Anytime.
I just adopt it. and
Right,
if you
right, I-
Modify it, you modify it.
you know, my concern, I talked to some other people about other things, is that, all of a sudden, this sounds good, and I think it probably is warranted, as I said when I first came on. However, sometimes what we think and what the people think are two different things, so you could be sitting here in an evening meeting and just be the players, and,
Yeah.
people don't show up. I don't think that'll happen.
We have a question from the audience.
Comment. I think it's a great idea, and I think you'll probably get participation. Just consider the calendars of each of those villages, because I would want to be at 2 places at once if you conflict.
It'll be tough for
The
the,
city, yeah. City
Yeah,
can
and
meet
because
Thursday.
they have they don't all meet on,
Well, that first Thursday of the month is a pretty popular Thursday. and already on schedules, so you may have trouble.
Second Thursday is
Second
also.
Thursday is city council.
Yeah, it
They
also is.
won't let us in there.
They won't?
I'm sure that.
Well, we can have our meeting before Thursday.
I don't wanna go there anyway.
We could serve popcorn here and draw the crowd.
Are they still in Geauga County?
I wanna go where I'm welcome, I don't wanna.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I was just saying, Ann and I do a lot of these meetings, and my Tuesday nights are quieter than my Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I say, I think Ralph's hit on a good thing here, but the actual details.
Let's try it.
The actual
Let's
try it.
details,
And the issue with doing
we're gonna have to have some
We already do
people
our
study all the
financials
calendars.
To get the checks processed.
I'm
So
just worried
that's why
about
we do
making
a
sure we
Tuesday
have the
morning
50
meeting.
meetings.
That's what I,
That's a real,
we have to have
that's a
that.
real, you know,
You're not? Oh, come on.
I'm just trying to think, because like when we go to, like, the commissioners' conference, you
Right.
know, that comes in. And then there's other times along the year that we'll go places, and that all adds in. You know, we might have to add another,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's gonna be
Thursday.
easily.
Anyway, at the end of the year, you just do meetings every day.
we're here, okay,
Yeah, we can try to handle this in a couple weeks.
yeah, we can handle the first.
I think what Ralph's got here is great. I think what we need to do is have
Yeah.
some people sit down,
Mhm.
lay out a yearly calendar,
Yeah.
get the whole year, so that, you know, you're not going, well, in May
Oh,
we
I
do
like
this.
this.
And then just
I think
look at
it's
all the
exactly-
holidays and where we'd be.
Because even my Thursday things, I
You know,
can
'cause-
adjust one Thursday.
But I too would like to be able to promote it, so schedule is necessary, so that we can say,
Right.
here's where you show up on such and such a day.
But usually on Tuesday morning, we need to do those financials.
Yes.
So Tuesday's real
Yep.
paramount for
Yeah,
us.
Tuesday's critical for financials, just for the
Okay,
audits.
well, that's
billing
good,
side.
Ralph.
Yeah.
Good
I
idea.
have no problem except working out the details,
Yeah,
which
okay.
And
Consensus is a
Ms.
beautiful.
Diane?
question, yes, before we adjourn, I've come upon some information that is kind of disturbing to me. And as a matter, it was a kind of a chance situation where I went to the Board of Elections to make a public information request. And just coincidentally happened to tune in the website. And while I've noticed the correctness of entries regarding two fiscal officers who were recently appointed upon the resignation of former fiscal officers, I'm concerned because under elected officials, we have Tracy Jameson, we have Mr. Rear listed on that website as having been appointed to fill the retirement of Tracy Jameson. And those of us who come regularly, and it's been on tape, we all heard Mr. Jameson announce to the public that he was resigning as of October
Yeah.
31st. But I'm hopeful that this kind of error can be corrected. I don't normally
I don't
think
understand
of-
what the error is exactly.
Okay, this is,
They haven't updated something, or?
oh no, it's.
She said they're miscategorizing the
it's mis-
nature of his.
Right,
stepping
in other
down.
words, okay.
Difference
for
between
spec-
resignation
and a retirement. And specifically, we have Auburn Township Fiscal Officer as well as Chester Fiscal Officer being announced as being appointed because of the resignation of those two former officers.
Okay.
But the commissioner, the commissioner situation is listed that Mr. Rear is a current commissioner, but he was appointed, little note right there on the line with his name, that indicates that Mr. Rear was appointed to replace Tracy Jameson, who resigned on October 31st, 2013.
So it's saying that he retired, but it should say resigned.
Right, I misspoke.
I see what
Right,
you're saying.
yeah.
I-
Yeah,
okay,
it's
I
listed
understand.
on-
And who's
on-
responsible
So
for
it's a
those
retainer,
entries?
it's
Right.
a.
It's an
some-
inaccuracy at least.
it's a
Because he
semantic.
resigned, not retired.
He
I see.
announced he was
Makes
resigning, but the paperwork here, and for all the public who comes in to see it,
Will be
gets the
confused, you
impression that he
Well, it's inaccurate.
retired. It's sort of,
But who's responsible
Who
for
does
that?
that
that's
website?
correct.
I mean,
Who-
that's
that would be-
done,
Who's responsible for
people
correcting
on
it?
Board of Elections.
I don't know, we were
Board of
hopeful that
Elections.
maybe the county commissioners, because they have
Oh, we-
oversight
We,
Uh,
I
We
don't
don't
think
do
we
it.
could,
We
we
don't have
don't have
oversight
any
of how the Board of
jurisdiction
Election
over the Board of Election.
legally
I
classifies
don't
Really?
think it's a.
comings and goings of
Well,
elected
then
officials.
I would guess the question would be.
Probably
Whose
with-
responsibility is it
to-
to notify the Board of Elections that their information is in error? Because,
Well,
know,
you
we would
as
hate
a-
to think that the Board of
certainly-
Elections was in error.
Certainly you as a citizen have a right to.
I mean, I don't mind walking over there and telling them that it's a resignation instead of
Yeah.
a retirement.
Well, actually,
Well,
we're
the
going over
issues
there
with
this
the
morning
townships,
anyway on some
my
other
hands are-
business.
Well,
I
you
think
don't-
they,
you don't
what
wanna-
they, what,
in the township.
Diane, what they need to do is they need to check with their prosecuting attorney
Yeah.
and
Right.
just say, okay,
The
there's
But
gonna
Diane,
be
you as a citizen, so
inconsistency,
certainly,
you know.
No problem.
I
We're
think
going
you
over there
should.
right
Yeah,
after
yeah.
this
Yeah, I would
meeting.
do
I
that
just
if I were
thought,
you.
know,
If
Because
you
I
find
think
it
that
would
I'm
be
in agreement with it,
Yeah.
I mean, because he
He resigned.
retired.
He resigned.
He resigned.
I mean,
Right,
but he
he-
retired before he
Right, he was-
resigned.
Right.
I think
Which
was a
the-
year
yeah.
before, too,
So how
or
is
something.
it that the Board of Elections got that kind of information? They appear to be accurate on so many
Well,
other
it's
things and
probably a
hopefully with the
semantics.
elections.
Yeah, somebody typed in the wrong word. I don't know. I'm not
Resigned,
ready to
retired?
assign blame on that, but the problem with the
Right.
townships are, we don't deal with the townships, do
Right.
we? I mean, I won't,
Right.
I don't think if,
We have
if
no
they say,
jurisdiction.
if
And
they
it
say
may-
green, we can't say yellow. I
Right,
mean,
right, and it may very well be you don't have oversight
Yeah.
over them, although.
But it's a
I
good
thought-
comment, and I think
Right,
as
I
a,
think we
as
need
a
to
we'll
be
citizen,
ask, we
you
can
should go
ask
for
and
that.
see that it's,
Sure.
and
And
surely going forward, we can, say, hey, could you be a little more accurate?
It's
But
hard
I don't
to
wanna
mention
cause a big problem over there, cause
But
we
that's-
all need them.
That's fine, we're heading over there anyway on some other business, so.
Right, but I
I'd be
guess
happy to mention.
in my position at least, I mean, I support your position. I think that it needs to be correct, because he didn't retire, he resigned.
He did resign.
So-
I mean,
He
and, you know,
resigned.
clearly, he resigned, and he announced it several times.
They can fix that in
I would
A
imagine.
second.
3 seconds.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Especially
Just a
when
list
people
that's
don't
typed
have
up
public
and sent
information.
to
That's
the-
right.
I'm gonna give somebody the benefit, whoever it is, the benefit of the doubt of
Robbie Halford. is the
misspeaking
director.
or typing it in incorrectly, and I don't know that it was
Well, I'm not gonna go so far as to say. it was-
sinister or the black
No,
helicopters
I'm
are
not
flying
gonna say
overhead or anything
that's
like that. I think it was just
I'm
a
just curious.
mistake.
It's
No,
a
I'm glad you
curious
brought
kind
that
of
to our
thing.
Yeah,
attention.
yeah.
Gentlemen, I don't think we voted on the number 23, canceling session,
No, we haven't.
so
Okay.
could you make that motion?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Commissioner Rea,
Yeah, aye.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
And Commissioner Sweetie.
Aye, motion
Okay.
stands approved. Okay.
Good.
All right, coming up, we have a meeting in Cleveland. Nowaka is tomorrow at 10. Actually, I start at 8:30, 9:30, and then 10. Friday is also the opening celebration of 50 years of Kent State University Geauga. That's at 3. Then I believe are we all going down the agricultural vehicle?
Yeah, Ralph's not able to go.
Okay, some of us are going to that. It's, the Fair Board has a convention each year, and what they do is, they bring in acts and things that they might be putting at the fair. And it's kind of an interesting thing, and they've invited us at their cost, and they're an independent operation. This is not costing the taxpayers
Columbus.
anything.
It's called the Ohio Fair Managers Convention.
Fair managers.
In Columbus at the convention center.
And they have like,
It's very large,
They
because
recognize
almost every
somebody
county has a county fair,
do they
and they
what?
send their
Are
fair
they
board out.
recognizing someone?
And
I
the
heard
last
somebody
few years-
say
You know,
that.
last year they
Our fair
recognized
board
Jerry's
has
Lake.
invited
And you're gonna be
commissioners
next.
to go.
Right.
And they may be recognized, they generally recognize different people. Last year, they recognized Jerry Blair, and if you had heard, you know,
Yeah.
Jerry passed on. He was a long-time resident of Geauga and the family.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they're recognizing this year. It's not always,
Yeah, I didn't know if it was somebody from Geauga County, which would be nice if there was
yeah, I think
someone there
our
from
turn
Geauga
was,
County.
yeah. I think last year was
Everything okay?
our turn. I don't think this year there was anyone, but I could be wrong.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah, that's
'cause I'm
good.
leaving that morning.
Well, I won't be back down till later in the afternoon. I'm bringing my husband's driving. He didn't think, I can drive down there myself.
You're an excellent driver.
Excellent driver. Had a business for 20 years, drove all over the United States. Okay.
Okay.
Well, next, other than that, then our reorg meeting will be on Monday, 10 o'clock, and then our regular session on Tuesday obviously will be canceled because of Monday. And then hopefully we'll put in Ralph's thing, which looks good. And then on the 14th, our scheduled meeting is canceled anyway, because of 13, okay. And then 14, we do have planning though at 7 o'clock. And then on 16, we'll hold our regular session, and then on the 21st, Now, see, that whole week is gonna be canceled, the 21st and the 23rd, so right out of the box, we've
So will
lost.
we need to?
We've lost 3 days right out of the box.
Will we need to approve?
So we should have
Well, the week of
2 weeks of
meetings.
meetings.
But don't we, going into that, I think we have to
Just-
approve
just
that
for s-
David can do the financials.
Well, that's already there for lack of a quorum on
Yeah,
the schedule.
We're good for
Okay,
that.
then
We
we're,
have
that's
to, I think
okay.
we're gonna have to modify it to give me the authority to do it on, I don't know if you wanna say on Thursdays or something. We'll figure it
Well,
out.
like I said, details to be
Yeah,
worked out later.
yeah.
Some assembly required.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, that being said, does anyone have anything to say? Other than, okay, well, I should choose.
I move to adjourn, or you? Yeah, I don't have, like I said, let me see if I can find a copy of, okay? I brought stuff in from the school board, because we had that.